If you're thinking about moving to Arizona and you have kids or are planning to have kids, schools is probably one of your biggest questions. And honestly, Arizona schools can feel a bit confusing if you're coming from another state because the system here works very differently than most other places. You're going to hear things like charter schools, open enrollment, ESA vouchers, school choice, and most families don't know what all that actually means. So when you're trying to decide where to live, you gotta figure that out ahead of time. So today I'm gonna break all of this down in a very simple way for you. I'm gonna talk about public versus charter schools, some of the top schools all throughout Arizona, how school choice actually works, and what families moving here really need to know regarding schools. If you're planning a move to Arizona and you want help figuring out the right areas, the right schools, and the neighborhoods, reach out anytime or feel free to grab my relocation guide below. My team and I help people relocate here, and we would love the opportunity to help you. If you're moving from out of states, one of the biggest questions I get is how do you figure out the right area to live? So I'm actually putting together a full video showing you exactly how to research neighborhoods, schools, and communities the right way. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that. If we haven't met yet, I'm Alejandra with Moving to Arizona. My family moved here from California 10 years ago, and now I specialize in helping people make the same move. All right, let's dive in. Part number 1, open enrollment shock. The first thing that surprises almost everyone moving to Arizona is something called open enrollment. In many states, your home address completely determines your school. You live in one neighborhood, you go to that school. In Arizona, it doesn't always work that way. We have open enrollment. That means school has space your child is able to attend even if they don't live in the boundary. So basically, you just apply and see if they have room and your child can enroll there, hence the name open enrollment. So for example, you could live in Queen Creek and still apply at a Chandler school, or you can live in Mesa and have your kid attend a Gilbert school. It's very common here. You're not always locked into your neighborhood school, and people love that. For my relocating families, this is a huge relief. Sometimes they find a house they love, but the assigned school rating isn't what they're looking for. Open enrollment gives you flexibility. Now, something to remind yourself is this is not guaranteed. Popular schools can actually fill up quickly, but it is an option that many states don't have. Part number 2, charter schools explained. Now let's talk about the biggest question families ask. Are charter schools better than public schools? What's the difference? The honest answer is it depends on your child. First, what is a charter school? Charter schools are tuition-free public schools, but they are independently operated. They don't have geographic boundaries. Anyone can apply, but here's something really important most people don't realize. Not all charter schools are the same. There are different types. Some are very academically intense, like the basic schools. Some focus on classical education, like Great Hearts. Others emphasize a real traditional structure and discipline, like Legacy Traditional. So when someone says charter school, that could mean very different experiences. Now let's talk the differences. Charter schools often offer smaller campuses, more academic, rigorous studies, structured environments, high test scores that the students earn. But public schools offer larger campuses. They're going to offer those sports programs, arts and music programs, special education resources, and more extracurricular activities. So neither one is automatically better, they're just different. One thing I always tell families is the best school isn't always the highest ranked school. It's the one that fits your child, and that is really important. For example, basic schools are really highly ranked nationally, but they're also very academically intense. Some kids are going to thrive there, and some kids can burn out and not do that well. Some kids decide they want sports, they want a social life or different pace, and they transfer back to a public school. So ranking doesn't always equal the best fit. Part number 3, transportation and real life factors you need to think about. Another insider tip families don't expect is most of these charter schools, they don't provide transportation. So parents are going to be driving their kids. So location is going to matter. We always talk through daily routines, commute times, and logistics before choosing a school because all of that is going to matter. You want your kids to experience riding the bus. You won't get that with a charter school. Because schools impact lifestyle just as much as houses do, you want to really think about all of that. Now, part 4, waitlist reality. Another thing relocating families don't realize, some charter schools have waitlists. So oftentimes I've had families apply to schools for their kids while they're still living in another state just to try and secure that early spot. That kind of planning is going to make a big difference. Part number 5, top school areas in Arizona. Let's talk about the top performing schools across Arizona, starting with the East Valley. Some of the standout public schools include Arizona College Prep. This is in Chandler. It's a top public school choice program. Basis Chandler and Basis Mesa are nationally ranked charter schools. Great Hearts Academies, they've got a few locations. They've got a classical education model. Legacy Traditional Schools, they've got strong kindergarten through 8th programs. Lehman Academy is a classical curriculum focus. Seton Catholic and Valley Christian are also top private options. Now, the West Valley and North Phoenix also have incredible schools. Basis Peoria, this is ranked number 1 nationally by some publications actually. Basis Goodyear is rapidly rising in the ranks as well. Glendale Preparatory, top Great Hearts campus. Trivium Preparatory, strong West Classical School curriculum. Millennium High School, strong academics and athletics. Liberty High School, highly rated public option. And in North Phoenix and Scottsdale, we've got Basis Scottsdale, Pinnacle High School, Mountain Ridge High School, Sandra Day O'Connor High School, Phoenix Country Day. Arizona truly has some strong options across multiple regions. There's more than what I've listed. In this video, I mentioned a lot of charter schools because Arizona has some nationally ranked charter options that people relocating from out of state aren't familiar with. But Arizona also has some excellent public school districts. Districts like Chandler Unified, Higley Unified, Scottsdale Unified, and Peoria Unified are all very well regarded and offer strong academics, sports programs, arts, and extracurricular opportunities. So it's not about charter being better than public. It really comes down to your child, your priorities, and the type of school environment that's going to work best for them. One of the things that makes Arizona unique is that families often have multiple great options depending on where they live and what they're looking for. And when I help relocation clients, we usually look at both charter and public school options together before narrowing down the neighborhoods. Part 6, school boundaries and real estate value. How does all that impact? This is an important real estate insight. Even though Arizona's got open enrollment, allowing school choice, homes inside top school boundaries tend to hold their value really well, and that adds to their value because future buyers are going to care about those school boundaries as well. So schools do impact home value long term. Part 7, the ESA program. This is a game changer. Now we need to talk about something many out-of-state families have never heard of, the ESA program. ESA stands for Empowerment Scholarship Account. In Arizona, if you opt out of the public school system, the state provides funding, usually around $7,000 to $9,000 per child, that can be used towards private school tuition, homeschooling, or education expenses. For families coming from states where private schools cost $20,000 or more per year, this is a huge advantage. It makes private education more attainable. Arizona is one of the most school choice friendly states in the entire country. Part 8, how families actually decide. Here's something that I see often. Some families choose their school first, and then we find their house around it. Others choose the neighborhood first and explore school options after. There isn't one right approach, but planning ahead makes everything smooth. The biggest takeaway I want you to remember is this: Arizona gives families more flexibility than most states. You've got public schools, charter schools, open enrollment, private options, and ESA funding. Where you live doesn't always dictate where your kids go to school. And that flexibility is one of the reasons so many families choose to move to Arizona. Before we wrap up, I want to mention something families ask me for a lot, which is how to research neighborhoods. Well, remember, I'm going to be doing a video on how to research neighborhoods, schools, communities. So if you're moving out of state, you're going to want want to make sure you're subscribed so you can stay notified and know when I post that video. As a realtor, I can't label areas as safe or share about crime, but I'm going to share with you reliable information so that you can make the best decision for your family. So I'm going to be filming this separate video soon, so make sure to subscribe so you get all the details and know how to do the best research on your end. If you're thinking about moving to Arizona and want help figuring out the best areas, schools, and neighborhoods for your family, reach out anytime. And remember, I've got that relocation guide below. My team and I would love to help you move to Arizona the right way. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.